Bridget. All right, let's get into it. So, SushiSparkle says, okay, so they say they feel like they have weaker execution and their mental stack gets overloaded and their strategy is always based on that. So let's take a look. Let's see. How do you... There we go. Okay. So fishing for hits with sweep. So let me see something for a second. Okay. Yeah, so you're just having trouble creating space here. Ooh, the wake up sweep is dangerous. Okay. This is, we're watching from Bridget perspective here. Okay. Nice. Nice. Ooh, I think you meant to sweep and you got 5D. I mean, this is looking like a much better round. So we're definitely going to learn a little bit of Bridget here because when it comes to Bridget theory... Oh, you're good. Oh, nice. Alright. So, I mean, the first thing right away is... I mean, it was good that you spent your meter at the end. You need some better ways to spend your meter. Bridget has some good force breaks, but they require a little bit of setup, so I would definitely just advise more faultlessing and more dead angle. As a way to spend your meter for now. Let me just see this for a second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the jump Ds are good. They have a good hitbox. Getting hit by 5D is whatever. That's a experience thing. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna look at some Bridget stuff after this, but let me let's see. So you're using a lot of jump D. We'll look at jump ins after also. Again, my Bridget specific experience or knowledge is medium, so we'll look at some stuff in training mode. Okay, let me write some stuff down and we'll look at... It'll be easier if I show you stuff in training mode. Pause this for a second. So we're going to talk about waking up. We're going to talk about jump-ins. We're going to talk about spending meter a little bit more, and flowchart a little bit. Yo, Ryan, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. So, another little knowledge check. To shake out of the stagger, you want to wiggle the stick. I don't know if you play on stick or pad. I know a lot of pad players can have trouble shaking out of staggers. Yeah, so you're just fishing, but you don't really have a plan here. Okay, let's go into training mode. It'd be way easier to show in training mode. Ryan, again, thank you for the sub. How you doing tonight? Okay. Let's look at Bridget and we'll look at Soul. Okay. So there's some stuff about Bridget that I definitely don't know. Damn, I got this cursed ass Bridget color again. We gotta change that. Yeah, exactly, Core. We're gonna talk about using the yo-yo also. All right, so as far as jump-ins, like if you're IDing, like jump D is good, but you notice how it changes your momentum. It's like a really slow thing. So generally, the way you would use this is something like this to like cross them up. You see that there's like certain Oki setups you can do with this, where you set the yo-yo, and then you like do this over and call the yo-yo back, and you get a combo. If I knew the exact setup, I would show you, but I don't. But actually, I think it's off of throw. Let me see. Maybe I subconsciously do know it. I think it's like something like that. How do you... It's something like that. Anyway, but yeah, if you are like IDing at them with the intention of hitting them, you know, jump K I think is a better angle, and then you don't add this extra startup, you know. Typically the only time you see jump D used is when you want like an additional later overhead, or you're gonna cross them up because it has such a great cross-up hitbox, obviously. So I would you know, try to limit the usage of that a little bit and look at these. You know, jump S is also pretty good. But let me see one more thing. Yeah, so let me put them on guard limited. So as a basic game plan, so Bridget is like a little bit weird, where the best Oki is, I have no idea how you do. Oh, okay, yeah. So, you know, if you can combo into this, you know, something like this, you can get good Oki, because you can set the yo-yo like that before you land. But when you do a sweep, your Oki is a little bit limited. But I wouldn't worry about Oki that much. If you get a hit like this, I would just set the yo-yo and get comfortable, you know, just setting and recalling the yo-yo. And in neutral, it seemed like you were just kind of fishing for a hit. You didn't really have a plan. Generally, Bridget wants to zone with stuff like, you know, far slash, 3S, or excuse me, 2S, and 6S. And you want to spend a lot of time in the air. You know, setting the yo-yo, creating a wall with Roger, and you know, trying to just create a wall basically. So like when you get a knockdown like this, just setting this and doing, well, I did a force break, but you know, something like that. You know, you don't have to get too fancy, because Bridget's Oki is not that great to begin with. Some other stuff you can look into as well is like throwing the yo-yo up and then using this as a way to, you know, run away. There's some advanced stuff you can do with this. Is it not FDC? Well, I'm not even going to talk about that because it's pretty advanced. But, you know, using that to get different trajectories on your jump and stuff and just help you run away. Let's also talk about your wake up. So, generally, you know, you want to be pretty defensive on wake up, but Bridget does have really good options. So, you know, Bridget has a true DP, and if you can learn the FRC timing, it's really, really powerful. So, you know, you want to mix that in a little bit, reversal DP. It's really good. A lot of players are not going to punish this well. So I would abuse that until they really start punishing it well, and then, you know, maybe ease up a little bit on it. But the other thing is when you get knocked down, don't forget about delayed wake up. Really, really important, and again, something that a lot of players that you play won't really have a good plan against. They'll just mess up their Oki, they'll mistime their Oki. So, if I'm not mistaken, you can only do it when the yo-yo is not out, yeah. So if the yo-yo is out, you can't do it. But if the yo-yo is not out, isn't it? Is it just H? No, it's up in H, isn't it? Yeah, it's up in H, I think. Let me just double check. I don't even know if that's in the move list. Is that even in the move list? I don't think so. Later, Noah. Just H, is it? Do I have the yo-yo already out? No, I don't think so. You sure? Oh, it is. Okay, I was just timing it horribly. Yeah, okay, so just H. But yeah, so if you use this in combination with the DP, really, really powerful. You can really mess up people's, Oki up. And yeah, I mentioned it during the match, but I would definitely recommend, for now, spending your meter mostly on faultlessing and on dead angles. So, you know, just a good way to get people away, and it lets you, you know, get a yo-yo set going. So, so yeah, dead angle, Bridget's dead angle is pretty good. So that's definitely how I would spend your meter. And then beyond that, also, so 6K is good when you're doing block strings. If they're blocking, to open them up, just really simple, this into this. Really good way to get a kickstart for a good knockdown. And last is 3P. This is another really good button. If you're looking for a button to hit, because they're hitting buttons during your pressure, this will counter hit most things. So this is a really good button as well. It staggers on counter hit. So this is 3P. But yeah, other than that, I would just get a little more comfortable with your normals. Bridget's normals are pretty good. What's the, what's that sequence that Bridget players always do? There's like something you can Gatling this into. I'm trying to think of what it is. $2K? That's not the one I'm thinking of. There's something else. There's something else where he hits again like mid. I can't imagine what it would be though. 5S or 6? Oh, maybe 6S? No, I tried that. No, it's not that. It's not close. Close slash doesn't work. I don't know. Maybe it is 2K. Yeah, but this is good to pressure from this kind of range. The point I wanted to make was just this button is pretty good from this range when you're already pressuring. So yeah. But yeah, overall, not bad. You know, I think you just need to... You need a basic game plan. And, you know, you had... Honestly, this is, like, one of the most important things. So, you know, you did that. That's good. It's important to know this. Make sure when you're doing it, you're holding down back so that you are blocking in case they burst. It's one of the best parts about Bridget's 2P. No, it's not Kickstart Yo-Yo. I thought there was another Gatling, but I might have just been wrong. I don't know what it was. I don't know. But yeah, I would say just work on your fundamentals. I think there's just some spots where where there were some buttons that you weren't utilizing. Again, like your IEDs and just your jump ins in general. Jump P is also good. Jump P has a really good angle on it also. It's really fast. So also a good button to use. And then yeah, just look at your ground normals. Just all your S buttons basically are all good. So I would definitely start looking into using these. And this is 6S is really important for setting yo-yos as well. So but yeah, other than that, good stuff. I think I talked about it early on when I started doing the reviews that I wanted to try to go a little bit quicker through them. I think I just have to because they're coming in faster than I can do them, and I'm never gonna get caught up. So gonna try to cut it down to 15-20 minutes per, which is still a lot, I think. But enough to talk about all the stuff I want to talk about. All right, so yeah, good stuff. Thanks, North Dakota. All right, so next up is PATOH, who was here earlier. I hope they are still here. And PATOH submitted some additional replays. So here they are. I marked the old ones as old. And yeah, let me set a marker. Angie. And let's go. Yo, JLY. Alright, so let's see what we got. Let me see this. Okay. Curious. Are you? Oh, you're here. Cool. I'm curious why you were hitting 2H. Is that because of the guard point on it? Well, I always forget. Does 2H have a guard point? Yeah, it does. It does. Are you doing that for the low guard point? The Kai was doing load to slide. Oh, I forgot to read your. Let me read your comment. Struggle with defense and getting out of strong pressure. Okay, don't understand the Justice matchup. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely look at some Justice stuff, and we're already talking about defense, so that's good. Okay, yeah, for the guard point. Okay, so okay, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the middle of a set, so it's a little, little tough. But I mean, if they're doing lots of slide, like in this kind of situation, you really shouldn't be worried about Stun Dipper, because you just have to block it. He has no meter to FRC or RC it, so as long as you just block it, you're gonna be good. Once he has more meter, maybe if you want to make a read and try to guard point it, sure, but in this spot, I wouldn't really, be worried about it as much. Nice jump out. Alright, so a couple of things. So, first thing I'm going to point out, and we're going to keep an eye on this during your matches, but, the first thing when somebody mentions that they have a hard time on defense and escaping good pressure, the first thing I think of is, IB and FD. And throughout this whole string, you were just normal blocking. So we're gonna keep an eye on that, and we're going to keep that in mind while we watch the rest of the matches. I think it's one of those things where, For a beginner, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, you know, because it's a little more, you have to be a little more mindful while you're playing to be thinking about, you know, how you're blocking and stuff like that. But once you get a base level of familiarity, if you feel like defense is the area that you want to work on, I think that's the first thing to attack. Yeah, exactly. You don't think too actively about them. Exactly. So I've talked about this before. The way I recommend approaching it is pick one. Pick either IB or FD. I think FD is easier to start with. I think IB is a little more complicated. So I would just start with FD and just FD like aggressively. Just, you know, more than you think you probably should. And just get comfortable with the physical aspect of it, you know, hitting 2 buttons while you're blocking. You'll get comfortable with the amount of pushback, the amount of meter you're losing, just literally just get a level of comfort with it. And then after, you know, a little while, after a few games or a few hours or whatever it is, then comes the hard part, which is try to think about what you want to FD in a given matchup and, you know, turn it on and off and you know, try to FD the things that are good to FD and then don't FD the things that aren't good to FD. And I've, again, talked about this before, but in general, rule of thumb to start with, try to FD when they're really close to you, specifically light attacks, you know, kicks and punches, and generally you don't want to FD once they're further away from you. So, like, if we look at this string, let's look at this sequence again. Alright, so I'm going to take control here. And so, for example, he runs up to you. See how you can make stuff whiff like this? So, and then you're out, right? You give yourself some room. Or he repressured you. Here, also, give yourself more breathing room. So, yeah. You know, that's just like the general idea. And then after a while, once you're comfortable with FD, give it some time, make sure you're really, you know, proficient, and then start to try to implement IB and do it the same way. I wouldn't necessarily say try to IB everything, but try to IB something in every string just to get a feel for it. And again, I recommend as a rule of thumb, the opposite. So try to IB towards the end of strings, not when they're close to you. And take advantage of the reduced block stun to create gaps for yourself to either stick out a guard point, jump, you know, things like that. It's especially good for Angie because he can create gaps in strings where normally there wouldn't be gaps. And because he has frame 1 guard points, there's, you know, situations where you can IB to create a gap and then like 6k to throw out a guard point or something. Is there a way to set up IB practice on training? Yeah, absolutely. We'll look at that after. That's a good question. That's a good question. We'll look at some ways to practice that. Yeah, for sure, Rupture. We'll talk about that. So I'm guessing the 5D was also for the guard point. Or did you... Oh, you tried to do something. Okay. I thought maybe you accidentally jumped. So one other thing that's just reminded me, it happened earlier, I'm going to go all the way back actually. One other thing on defense, look for OTGs. This is a weird OTG, so I probably wouldn't have been ready for this one myself, but once they OTG me one time like this, I'm looking for the OTGs. And, you know, as far as like getting out of a defensive situation, usually when the opponent OTGs you, you can just tech and get away from them. There's very few characters where, you know, they can OTG you and cover the tech well. You do want to be careful of tech traps, but, you know, as again, a layer 1, I would try to tech every OTG until they punish you. Because, again, generally, once you tech the OTG, you're gone. You're completely free. So... Yeah, Destiny, it happens to me all the time. Okay. Ooh. A little bit of a drop, but that's okay. Oh, that hit weird. See, and look, your opponent here did exactly what I was describing, right? They faultlessed your 6S, and then you went to do 5H, and it whiffed. If they were... Here they were extremely passive, and they jumped, but if they had been looking for the whiff, this would have been a pretty easy whiff punish for them. Okay. So this looks slightly wrong to me. I don't know what the optimal... I mean, there's a few different ways to do the unblockable kind of tight so they can't escape. It looks like here you dashed up way too far. I don't know if that was... you dashed up a little extra because you saw them get hit already. But the other thing that concerns me about this is you started with 2k. I'm guessing that your instinct here was do 2k because it's a low and you're trying to unblockable them. But it's better to actually do the low later, and also not necessarily with 2k. So the thing is, by running up this much, let me rewind it, and I'll take control of the dummy here. Okay. So the thing is, by running up as far as you did, you actually give the opponent an opportunity to get out if your opponent had blocked the dolphin, the butterfly. So see here, like I can backdash, I can DP. I'm not even doing like a special block. This is just normal block. Let alone, you know, if I IB, you know, I can jump out. I can do all sorts of stuff to get out. So generally, what you want to do is dash up enough to just to get them into block stun and just do a mid. And then do a low as your second or third attack with the timing of the butterfly coming down to, yeah, Angie with dolphins, my biggest nightmare, yeah. Do a low as the butterfly is coming down to do the unblockable. And again, it's twofold why you do this. Number one is because it creates a tighter sequence so they can't get out after they've blocked the initial butterfly hit. But the second thing is, you're, in a weird way, you're actually increasing the damage, because by making them block a couple of hits before you do the unblockable, you're getting their risk meter up. And that's why you'll see a lot of people, they'll just, when the unblockable is coming, they'll just eat the butterfly, because they'll overall take way less damage than if they try to block it or try to escape and then get caught only by the unblockable. So by making them block a little bit first, you can actually increase your damage a little bit. Usually do 2p 2k. So the third thing here I would say is, let me double check this on my phone. Let me check on Dustloop. We need to look at proration. I would assume Angie's 2k prorates. Maybe it doesn't because it's pretty slow. So maybe they balance the slowness by making it not prorate. But I think that it does. 2k. Yeah, so 2k, yeah, prorates 70%. 70%. So, whereas 2s is also a low and doesn't prorate at all. So typically what you would see here, instead of like 2p 2k, is something like this. Let me get the butterfly in the... okay, yeah, we don't have to time the butterfly. See that? Just dash up 5k, and then 2s. And you can do, you know, this into Fujin or whatever. Whoops. But yeah, usually 2s is the move that you want to be breaking their guard. But you see how tight this is? Like, after the first butterfly hit, there's not going to be a gap there. Whoops, I'm not doing 2s. So yeah. Does that make sense? It's just like, it's just way better. Yeah, 5k 2s. 2h? Is there a reason to do 2h instead? Does it matter 2h or 5h? I feel like I've seen both. The other one that I see also, by the way, is this, to set up the unblockable. And the benefit of this is that you... Whoops, not that. Is that you, you're doing a guard point move. So if they try to dead angle the first butterfly hit, you'll guard point it. And then the 3k is a low, so this also unblockables them. The downside to this is that you can't do H Fujin, right? Because it doesn't combo off of 3K. Can't you get S Fujin though? Am I doing something wrong here? So this is like if you just need a tiny bit of damage to kill them, this is like the even safer version, but you get less reward overall. But if you just need a hit or two to kill them, oh yeah, there we go. I think it was because the butterfly was still hitting, or I'm canceling it late or something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, that's an alternative, but that's like for a kill situation, you know. 3K auto guards low, but 6S auto guards mids. So if they try to dead angle this butterfly hit, the first butterfly hit, you'll guard point their dead angle. Because that's the universal way to deal with the unblockable, right? Is to dead angle. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Nice. Okay, good burst. In this kind of round ending situation, don't be afraid to force break butterfly here, like full screen. So like once he backed up like that, force break butterfly is a really good tool for forcing interaction because they have to do something. I mean, Kai has stun dipper, so try to slash back. What were you doing here? Trying to throw us? Meant to FD? Yeah, but what's with all the SH inputs? Yo, what's up, Prodigy? Yeah, we're going over Angie stuff right now. We just spent like 5 minutes talking about unblockables. All right, no worries, Pato. I was just curious because if you were trying to throw us, you should be throw using with K. 6KH is super good with Angie as a throw OS. So that's the only reason I was asking. Just wanted to make sure you're aware. You do the KOS? Okay, cool. Yo, what's up, Lurkin? How you doing? Yeah, no OS on back throw, obviously. So here, what most characters would do in this situation is you would react to the charged stun edge and just hit Kai. Especially, again, when he doesn't have meter, you don't have to worry about it being like a fake into the force break, right? Because sometimes they trick you, they'll do charged stun edge and then cancel it into the force break. You go to hit a button, you counter hit yourself. Yeah, 6S would be, if you're trying to interrupt it, let me rewind this a little bit. So 6S would be the button to interrupt it. And you have a lot of time. Don't think that you have to react like super quick. Like look how long. I mean, there I waited a little long, but you know, I'm trying to emphasize how long you can wait here. But the thing is, Angie has another option. Even if you fail to react and you realize it too late, just guard point and just do K guard point. If I can do it. Oh, never mind. It doesn't go all the way through. I'm shocked by that. I'm surprised it doesn't go all the way through. Alright, never mind then. Fuck me. What about D? Would D grab him from there? I guess he can block. I'm surprised that he doesn't make it all the way through. Because he moves forward so much. But... oh, you don't have meter. I'm trying to do D, but you don't have meter. Alright, so then, yeah. I mean, just hit him out of it. Yeah, I mean, you could try to Fujin late and go through. That would be another thing if you react really late. But I feel like if you reacted that late, reacting with a motion is probably going to be a little tricky if you're reacting late to begin with. But yeah, just hit him. From this range, you could probably also 2S maybe? No. But yeah, 6S for sure. At the very least, jump out. Oh, you try to throw. Nice reaction. Ooh. Okay, you're trying to air throw here. Interesting. Yeah, right here, you try to air throw. So, look at your inputs. The reason you didn't get an air throw here is because you were holding up back. Make sure when you are going for an air throw, you're holding straight back. You cannot get an air throw if you're holding either of the diagonals. It has to be straight. I've talked about this before. One thing I do to help avoid this is usually, not always, but 90% of the time when I go for a quick anti-air air throw like this, I will jump in the opposite direction that I will try to grab. So for example, in this case, if I want to do a back throw, which usually I do an air back throw, I would jump forward and then back throw, because it's easier for me to make sure that I'm not caught, kind of like stuck in a diagonal. If you try to go to 7 and then 4, you're kind of trying to move the lever down, but you don't want to go all the way down to 1. You're kind of trying to hit this in between. So I always do the opposite. If I'm trying to forward throw, I do 7-6, and if I'm trying to back throw, I do 9-4. And it just makes it easier for me to hit exactly forward or backwards. Does that also apply to the forward diagonals? Yes. Yes. You have to be holding straight. Yeah. TK Yuzu 6C has prepared me for TK air throw. Yeah, exactly, Impulse. Exactly. When you throw OS, do you hit your preferred button in 6H? Yes. Yes. Any button that's not dust and 6H. Got a little stuck there. Oh, wow. So from that super high, I mean, this is such a rare height to get an air throw from, but you notice that when he throws, they're slowly moving away as they fall, so they're going to be a little bit further away than usual from that kind of height, but you can, like, micro dash 5p to get back into on range. Pato, do you know the on OS? Can you dash into it? Yeah, let me see if I can do it here. Maybe from this height, it's not even possible to get a dash. Also, Kai's kind of flat. Yeah, maybe from this height, you can't get a dash. Yeah, maybe not, actually. I know there's definitely heights, though, where you can correct it. This is like an abnormal height, though. Like, getting an air throw from this high is so rare. But there are other situations where you would get an air throw from much higher, and you can correct this. And not much higher than this, but higher than normal, where you can correct it by doing this. I think, actually, from this height, they fall too fast, and I guess you can't dash. Oh, I thought that was it. It looks maybe possible. I think it's possible. I think I got it there, but it still didn't work. Come on. I mean, either way, even if it is possible, obviously this is like not really practical. This is like super hard because I can't even do it. But from slightly lower heights, you should be able to. Oh yeah, that's right. If you're too far, that's a good point. They gave him this Gatling and plus R for some reason. So yeah, if you know you're not going to be in on range, you can just do this and then get a butterfly off of this. That's a good point. Right, you just do this. But yeah, Pato, do you know the on OS? I've talked about this on stream a couple times. Super important for Angie, though. Let me go to where you... actually, it's the same spot here. I'll just do it from this also. Okay, So I feel like I was just talking about this maybe like last stream. So okay, so you know that On has an FRC point, right? The thing with the On FRC point is it's a little bit unique because the FRC point is after the active frames start, but because On is a hit grab, if it hits, you go into the animation, and once you're in the animation, you're locked in. You can't do anything. So, in theory, I'm going to say every time. In reality, it's like 99% of the time, but let's just go with every time. Basically, every time you input On, you can option select the FRC, because if it hits, it will grab them on the first active frame, and you will not get the FRC because you're locked into the animation. But if it doesn't hit, for example, if they burst, like let's say he burst the 5P here, or in this case, sometimes you're not sure if it's going to hit, and you know they're going to be able to tech, you will get the FRC only when it doesn't make contact. So it's like when you do like an ender into, you know, 5P On or 5K 5S On or something like that, the On is essentially unburstable, because if they burst the hit before the On, you should essentially always be FRCing it, and you'll be able to block every time. So I'll show you in training mode after. It'll be easier to show in training mode. Yeah, it's like a free burst OS, basically. And then sometimes in situations like this, when you're not sure if it's going to hit, it'll also save you from getting punished, because you'll recover in the air and you can act. Ooh, did you try to FRC this? You didn't. So when you do this on block, if they block it, you should try to FRC it, because this is like big punish. You didn't get punished that hard though, so. So you try to throw a little too soon, and he wasn't close enough to you, so you got 5H. Nice. Never thought about RCing it. What, Nagiha, the low? Oh, I didn't even mean RCing it. It has an FRC point. It has an FRC point specifically, well, I shouldn't say specifically to make it safe. One of the uses is to make it safe. It's also for combo utility. But the fact that it can make it safe is like crazy. Oh, that was so far. Okay. So the other thing I would say just in general, when you're pressuring, I haven't really seen you do any stomps, or also don't be afraid to do butterfly in pressure sometimes. But Angie is really at his strongest when he's mixing up all of his options and keeping the opponent guessing. You can get a lot of re-pressures, a lot of, you know, random hits from people trying to escape, just by mixing up between all your options of on block, stomps, Fujin, butterfly, and doing nothing. And just, you know, re-pressuring manually. Oh, just any RC. Yeah, I see. Alright, so let's look at a couple more here. So you mentioned you really don't know what to do against Justice, so we'll see. Oh, what an air grab. What happened here? Oh, you tried a 6P. So, in general, I think you should lean towards 5P anti-air a little more than 6P for exactly this reason. 6P is way more committal. Oh, that was a messed up butterfly. No, this was definitely 6P, right? You like, the Justice double jumped. Right, you were trying to anti-air the jump. Oh, before, yeah. But I'm talking about here. I'm curious. I actually want to take control because I'm saying in general because I don't know that 5P will work against this Justice jump in. Never mind. Of course it will. Yeah, I mean this button is just like. He did it really low, but the thing is, Angie 5P hits like so high up. But yeah, when this hits, it's pretty easy to confirm into an on or something bigger. You can get a lot of stuff off this. So, actually, the jump in wasn't that high. Let me see. It was a little low, yeah. But yeah, and the guard points are good anti-airs too. That's true also. Yeah, 5D. But yeah, I think the primary one is 5P. Just because the thing with 5P is that it's like no risk. If they jump or if they double jump, like, let me rewind it a little bit more actually. So what was this situation? Okay, so let me take control from here. So you saw the jump, you ran up, you tried a 6P, but they double jumped and it baited your 6P, right? So I'm gonna recreate that, but instead of doing 6P, I'm gonna do 5P. So, you know, they jump, accidentally 5P, or 6P. But you see, you just like, you recover so fast. I mean, you could like do whatever you want here. And you could always 6P the double jump as well, once they've committed to the double jump. But yeah, I mean, 5P, it's just like no commitment. So. Okay, so let's see how you deal with this now. I mean, that's a decent way to deal with it, honestly. Just jump in and block. She's going to get like a little bit of a mix-up because she has the overhead, but, you know, it's honestly not a bad option to use every now and then. Just jump and block. Oh my god. Yeah, I would burst that too. Fuck that. Jesus. Okay. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Oof, what a round start. Okay. So let's look at other options, because it seems like that's your go-to, is jump and block, and you don't want to be doing that every time. Where did it go? Okay. So another option is most simple, besides jump and block, don't be afraid to just dash and block. And that puts you in less of a kind of risky situation, I think. But here, especially because they did a second nuke, it's the same idea as what we were talking about before with Kai. You know, just stick out a button, just 6S. So I'm doing it like really early intentionally, but does he get hit by this standing? He does. Okay, that makes it a little more annoying. Can you guard point this? Does this like make it whiff? Let me see something. Oh, it's not hitting with standing. Okay. So yeah, you could just run under that one, and against a low and just guard point it. So yeah, this I would say is probably one of the primary options. The other option that I show every time, and I'll keep showing forever and ever. Oh, I can't show it here. He detonated the nukes. Let me go back to the first round, where. Oh, I guess it's gonna be the same because you jumped there also, so they detonated. I'll just show it in training mode after. Let's try to get through the rest of the replay here. $6P is not bad. 6P would be a good option to go under the high nuke. Just like dash up 6P. Okay. Yeah, so we'll look at it in training mode for a second after. Right, Johnny. Nice assortment of matches here. Okay. I feel like your butterfly Oki is like a little bit weak, maybe. As far as it doesn't seem like set play. You know, it seems like you're freestyling a little bit, and you know that's like when people talk about set play, like that is set play. Yeah, like just for some basic options, this is also where stomps come in really handy. The stomps are really good with butterfly. So, honestly, I would just look up some like Zidane matches and just look at some of the stuff he does off butterfly, and don't try to work it all in at once, but just pick one or two that you like and start with those. And then once you get those down, go back and look at a couple more options and just, you know, learn them one by one, basically. Ooh, I like the hop to get out of the corner. Okay. Nice. I like the just keep it simple, just get the kill, because that was certainly not optimal for meter, but it got the kill really easily. Whoa. Nice. So, if you poke with sweep, it seemed like here there was a noticeable delay before you did the Fujin, right? And I'm assuming that's because you actually confirmed that you hit the sweep and you tried to convert into S Fujin. I think that's pretty tough. I think it's probably possible, but just confirm and then just do butterfly, you know? Because even if you hit this, it's not that much better anyway, right? It's almost like you get worse Oki for hitting this, right? You get a little bit more damage. I think I just happen to not use Stomp in these matches. I use it though. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Stomp is really good. Nice IB into throw. Yeah, see, this is like, this should not be happening. Yeah, the most simple here is just for exactly this kind of thing. If they're like mashing, and I'm sure you've seen this before, but you just dash up and do 2P 2K. Oh, I'm getting 3P. I'm so used to Venom holding a down charge. Like that, and it shuts down mashing, and then after the butterfly hits, you dash in. So you do this to lock them down, and then you can dash up in their face, and if they get hit by this, then you can dash up and get a combo as well. Does that make sense? So this is like the absolute simplest. That's why you mentioned you 2P 2K often. Yeah, it's really good for this kind of situation specifically. But yeah, try to avoid the mashing. Yeah, it's really important to practice that timing to learn, because the thing is you want to leave a window open for them to mash, but you want to make sure you're beating the mash, right? You want to let them hang themselves if they're trying to mash, but you want to beat it when they do. Combo. Nice jump FD. So here you try to air throw again. I think if they're over you like this, I mean, this is like a little bit of a weird situation because you were both falling. I was expecting maybe jump D here, but the air throw wasn't a bad idea. I'm surprised you didn't get him. You were like, I'm actually surprised you didn't get the grab here. Probably like a frame too early. Yeah, that was a good air grab attempt, honestly. It was just a normal jump H attempt. Well, if it was a normal jump H attempt, I like it less, because jump H is really not going to get them above you, right? It hits downwards. So if you're trying to, and that's why I was saying, if they're above you and you're trying to hit them, I would definitely do jump D. When do you air throw versus Angie? What do you mean, Rupture? Nice confirm there into jump D. Oh, nice. 2P2K, very nice. Didn't fully combo, but that's okay. Oh, you mean on the command grab? Whenever you can. Well, it's not really like an anti-air. You combo into it. It's a combo ender. It's an ender. You can use it as anti-air, but it's kind of weird. If you're going to use it as anti-air, typically you would want to do the force break. I saw the P-stomp. Good. So you've been doing this a lot also, and this is whiffed a couple of times, where you dash and do jump S, and it whiffs. So you might need to try a different button here, jump P or something like that. And the thing with this is, I believe, let me double check, because I still have it open. I'm 99% sure that the P follow-up has extra landing recovery. Yeah, it has 8 frames landing recovery. So the thing is, when you do the P follow-up, if you see it hit, you can air dash. You know you're going to get the combo, so you can just do like jump P, whatever. Jump P, I don't even know what the right string is. Jump P, jump K maybe, jump H or something. But the point is, at the end of your string, don't land, PPS, something like that. But don't land and try to convert. It's going to be almost impossible, if not actually impossible, because of the added recovery from the P follow-up. So instead, just do your air dash into your air string and then do orb at the end, and use that to end your combo, because you're not going to be able to land and convert off of this. Does that make sense? And yeah, I see people saying like PPKS. From this, yeah, you're not going to be able to get that. I don't think. Maybe if you air dash a little bit higher, but that's like the general IAD string. But from this, you're going to do like 2 or 3 hits. So, I mean, we can look at it, I guess, right now. It's a cool frame. I feel like jump K will work. No. Yeah, you gotta do jump P. Yeah, jump P, I think. Yeah, I don't even know that you can get... Yeah, I think it's actually just jump P, jump S. I don't even think you can get 3. Oh, you can. You just gotta do it fast. What's orb? I thought it was... Is orb... oh, it's back. I thought it was forward. Whoops. Yeah, see, if you're too high, that'll happen. I would just do this, honestly. I wouldn't even mess with the second jump P. I would just do that. Because I feel like that might... If you're too low, you're going to land before you can get the... End it in jump D. Can you do that? From this low? Will that work? Yeah, I don't think if they're crouching... Which a lot of the time they will be crouching because they're going to do a low to beat Rin. Oh, it does work. That might be, like... That might not work on smaller characters, though. But yeah, I would just do orb. God damn it. Yeah, and then also you can RC it. If you want the better knockdown, you can combo into another on. So yeah. But yeah. Good stuff overall. Let's jump into training mode super quick. Yeah, the orb, I think, is definitely the most consistent. Alright, so we'll look at a few things super quick. Anji. Justice. Okay. So first of all, let's look at this. Okay. So... against this, the thing I always show is, what would be a good button for him? He might not have a great button for this. The guard point actually makes what I'm about to show less good. Yeah, and also it doesn't have a hurt box. 5H maybe? Yeah, 5H. So... I've shown this a million times. Show it again. If you don't have a good answer to the nukes, like you know she knocked you down and she gets momentum going. I think for Angie it's not super applicable because you have the guard points, but this can be useful. Just throw a hurt box, an extended hurt box out into the nuke to hit yourself, but as long as your hurt box is extended, the explosion will happen out in front of you, and you'll immediately reel back into your hit stun animation, and the explosion won't hit you, and the 4th hit of the explosion is what knocks you down. It's 4 hits total, so you'll only eat the first hit. It'll be a sliver of life. Like, look at how much life I'm losing here. You can't even see it. It's like nothing, right? Look at Angie's life bar right now. It's nothing. So, you know, you basically neutralize the nuke for minimal damage and you don't get knocked down. So, but for Angie, yeah, I would just do guard points, honestly. Because if you trade with her like that, the nukes go away. Now she can detonate early, but you know, but I think it's still good. And then the alternative is, you know, if there's only one nuke, let me re-record this. If there's only one nuke, just go through with this, right? So, but, you know, your idea, like the general idea of moving forwards is good. Like you were doing this, right? But don't be afraid to also do that on the ground, right? So both are good. You know, Angie has such a good super jump that, you know, you can... Also, just like running forward and then super jumping over and just switching sides is also going to be good. You know, stuff like this. But yeah, on the ground. So let me show you the OS super quick. Okay, so again, the FRC, basically, if I was learning Angie day one, I would learn my combos into on doing the FRC, even though you're never going to get it, just to build the muscle memory of always doing FRC every time you do on. And not only doing the FRC, hold back. So, you know, do the DP, then go to down back, and then input the FRC. And what'll happen is you'll get stuff like this. Oh my god. I'm trying to do micro dash 5K. See, and there, it wasn't even because of the burst. I was just too far. So it can also just save you from a drop. Let me do it just in the corner so I can do it quicker. Okay, so, you know, something like this. I didn't dash. There we go. I don't know if I got the FRC, but we'll see. I feel like it was a little late. But yeah, if I burst this now, yeah, see? So this is just like an option select, and it's just built in. You don't have to do anything fancy. You just FRC. Does this make sense? So if I don't burst, it just works, and if I burst... And if the Angie really wants to be a dick, what you can do is you can do on FRC grab, and they'll grab your burst, actually. So, it'll look like this if I can do it. I think I got it, actually. I did not. Maybe? Hard to tell. Nope. Whoops. Let's see. I'm missing the FRC. I think I'm doing it too late. That felt good. maybe? It's so hard to tell if you get it or not. How am I not getting the FRC? Hold on. I'm actually doing it... Whoops. Okay. I want to do this now. Maybe? There we go. Yeah. So, that's just an option select. So, obviously it's a little bit tougher to execute. There's more inputs to do the grab as well. But yeah. Pretty nasty. So yeah, good stuff, PATOH. I think you're definitely on the right track, man. So, so one other thing, we were talking about practicing IB, how to practice IB in training mode. What I recommend for that is pick a character that's like very simple. So for example, pick the dummy as like Soul, and then just do a recording of a very simple string. So something like this, right? And then play it back and practice IBing the last hit. See how I'm IBing the sweep here? And then what you can do if you want to get fancy is do multiple recording slots with different strings and try to react to the string and, you know, react to IBing the last hit and, you know, create some variations, try to make it as realistic as possible. That's the closest you're going to get to practicing in a real match. In general, no matter what you're practicing in training mode, it's always important to try to make it as accurate to a real game scenario as possible. And sometimes you have to get creative with the training mode options to do that. But random playback is one of the most important features for that. Because if you know what the dummy's going to do, it's hard for you to tell, like, are you really reacting to certain things, or is it just that you know what's going to happen? You know, it's not the same when you know what's going to happen. So, you know, making 4 different recordings that are all slightly different, and then practicing against those where you have to react, you still kind of know what's going to happen, but you still have to react. That's a really good intermediate step towards reacting in a real match. Because in a real match, it's not totally random. You know, you still have some idea of what the opponent is doing, and a lot of opponents are going to do kind of the same thing repeatedly. So after you see them do their string a couple times, you're going to have a very good idea of the kinds of strings they do. So, you know, this kind of random playback can be a big help with that kind of thing. Mocha, it's, yeah, first come, first serve. There's a line that is somewhat long. I said I was going to be quicker, and then I spent way more time than I wanted to on PATOH. But there's some good stuff there to dig into. But yeah, overall, really good stuff. Very nice matches. Alright, let's see if we can do at least one more here. I wanted to do 2 more, but it's already getting late. So we'll see what we can do. Alright, so next up is Potemkin. We've got Tigris. Wait. I just realized, hold on a second. Because after Tigris is Boomano. I didn't even realize this. I don't know whose matches these are. Hold on a second. That's hilarious. Are these Boomano's matches or Tigris's matches? They're Tigris's. Here's Boomano's. triple check that. Yeah. These are Boomanos. Okay. That's pretty funny. He's next, too, so that's, like, bizarre. Yeah, that's, like, a crazy coincidence. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about both sides here, and, you know, I'll try to get in a little preemptive Boomano advice, but let's try to focus on Tigris here, and we'll go from there. So let me set a marker. This is acquireTigris Potemkin. And Tigris says they have no Johnny matchup experience. The first Johnny they've played. All right, cool. If you attempt to IB but don't time it right, well, you just get a normal block. If you do it too early, potentially yes. If you do it too late, you're just gonna get hit. Well, that's not even 100% true. If you were already blocking, you will just continue to block. If you're in continuous block stun, you will just continue to block. Sorry, wait, what happened here? Oh, I see. All right, so I'm already seeing a, what's the word? Propensity to forward Mega Fist. I feel like that's like a little bit of a crutch that Potemkin players find early on when they're first learning. Until you get your head wrapped around Hammerfall break, you just don't really have a way to move forward. So, you know, forward Mega Fist becomes your go-to. But I would definitely say practice Hammerfall break. It's just too important. It's like, without it, you know, you just can't move. You see how you've been stuck in this corner? You're not really able to move forward. It's because you don't really have Hammerfall available. And also, you don't even have to do break. Just do Hammerfall and RC it when you get over there, you know? Don't even worry about the FRC. Just RC it. But you need something to move forward. Okay. Is that enough? So you could have Heavenly here. You had all the meter in the world. You could have done 2H Heavenly right here. But all right, let's see how the round closes out. Even if you realize afterwards that you should have Heavenly, so let's look at this for a second because there's a ton of options here. Even once you've done the heat, if you realize that you can kill, you can RC this. And if you RC this, they just drop. It's like a bizarre, like super slow drop. So you can actually, you know, get a second heat off. Yeah, I think that's corner only, but you can do 5H instead. Right? And this would have actually given you another chance to Heavenly. I always think it's H. We talked about this on the last stream. It's not H. Yeah. And that would have killed also. So you happen to have 100 meters, so you had a lot of options here. But even when you realize your mistake, you could have also done this. That probably kills also. I didn't get the follow-up, but yeah. There's like a bunch of stuff you can do with 100 meters. So even if you miss the initial Heavenly, you can fix this with enough meter. But yeah. Oh, so what I was going to say... well, yeah, never mind. Okay. I don't mind that just to get over there. Spend your meter. Nice. Okay. Forward Mega Fist coming through in the clutch. It's a little risky because it is punishable on block, but gets the job done sometimes. Okay. Let me pause this for a second. I'm going to do this slightly more in the style of the beginner tournaments, where I'm going to try to hold some of my comments till the end. I think it'll just be more efficient that way. So we'll look at some stuff in training mode after. Ooh, The coin caught the backdash. Yeah. So you said you have no Johnny experience. That's just a Johnny experience thing. You can't burst level 3 Mistfinder like that. All right, he's out of coins. You've exhausted his coin supply. Okay, one more chance. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the forward Mega Fist is definitely costing you here. Yeah, so the 2S was a good idea. It was just you timed it wrong. It's actually not even that you timed it wrong. He timed the coin right, so he was doing miscancels. So all these other gaps is where you wanted to be doing 2S when he was dashing up, and then he tricked you by doing coin the last time. And I don't mean to say that in a way that, like, you should have reacted to the dash. It's not necessarily that. His dash is, like, pretty quick, and, you know, you're looking for multiple things. It's just unfortunate that you had the right idea, just with the wrong timing. All right, let's look at another one here. What? State mismatch. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go into training mode. That's unfortunate. I don't know what that's about, but the good news is I think there was plenty to talk about still, just from that one game. So let's talk about a few things. I'll pick Johnny, even though it doesn't really matter too much, but okay, so your general stuff is good. You know, you have the right idea. You know, you weren't like mashing or anything like that. So we just need to improve on some of the kind of core fundamentals for Potemkin. So the first thing is making sure you are always charging. Always, 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 always. Unless you are literally doing something where you cannot charge, like 6P, 6H, 6K, you know, walking forward, something like that. Any other time during your block strings, during your jumps, you know, obviously while you're blocking, you're holding back anyway, but you should always be charging, right? ABC, always be charging. And you need to get comfortable with Hammerfall. Go into training mode, play with it a little bit, get a feel for it. Don't worry about the FRC for now. Just get a feel for how far it goes and what it feels like when you do the break, when you recover. So a good way to get a feel for this is doing the break and then holding up immediately, and then seeing how long it takes between when you hit P to do the break, between that time and when you actually get a jump. So see that little bit of a delay? Because that's the time, that's a timing that you want to be familiar with, because you're going to want to be able to hit buttons after that once you get into the more advanced stuff. Later, PATOH. Thanks again for the submission. Good luck. But, you know, getting a feel for the break is really important. And then also just letting it go. And again, don't worry about the FRC for now. You'll implement that later. But just at least RC it. And this is a really good way to spend your meter. Just use that to get in. Yeah, this is just essential. All these spots where you are at like this range and you're doing this to try to move forward and attack, this would basically always be better by doing something like this, or letting it rip. You know, letting the Hammerfall rip all the way. So basically what I'm saying is I want to see less of this. There are times when this is good, but not necessarily as a movement tool, and especially not from these kind of ranges. At least you want to be here where the idea is that you're going to go over something. They're going to stick out a poke and you're going to go over it. But be aware, this is punishable. So, you know, you want to be careful with this. Now, Hammerfall is also punishable, but, you know, once you get more comfortable with Potemkin and you start FRCing it, you know, it's going to be better in the long run. Of course, you can also FRC this, and this is also good to FRC. It's actually really good to FRC. You can sneak in a second overhead, but just in general, focus on Hammerfall. Yeah, and just jumping. People are in chat are pointing out just jumping. There was one spot in particular where from like this kind of range, you did a Mega Fist, and the Johnny happened to jump, and so because the Mega Fist goes down, it just wasn't hitting because Johnny was also in the air. And if you just done like jump P, Potemkin's jump P is really good. It's pretty non-committal, and you can, you know, buffer it into something like another jump P or a jump S, something like that. But the other really important thing, so this is good. We always, every time, it never fails, we get a recurring theme through our replays. I don't know how that always happens. But we're going to talk for a second about utilizing training mode in another way. So we were talking about, you know, practicing instant blocks. Let's talk about practicing hit confirms. So I'm going to set the dummy to crouch, and this is something I always recommend. Again, it's a little more realistic. Anything you can do to make the training dummy more like a human, you want to do. So when an actual human player is blocking, they're typically crouch blocking. So set the dummy to crouch. And then for the guard, I'm going to set it to random, okay? And I want you to do this, Tigris, when you see this. I want you to practice this. So set the dummy like this. So sometimes when I attack, he's going to block, and sometimes he's going to get hit. Sometimes he's going to get hit, okay. String of 4 blocks in a row. Now what I want you to do is set the dummy like this. Get up next to Johnny. And then I want you to do a string that you're comfortable with. So it seemed like you were comfortable with like 5K, 2S, 2H, right? I'm gonna switch that up a little bit. I'm gonna recommend you do 5K and then close slash 2S, 2D, or cut out the close slash. It'll be a little more universal because from some ranges like here, you won't get close slash and the far slash is not as good. So just cut out the close slash and just do 5K, 2S, 2D, right? But the important thing is you're going to practice 2 things at the same time. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed, but I think you can do this. Number 1, I want you to be charging the whole time you do this. So when you do the 5K, I want you to be holding back. And then when you switch to the crouching normals, I want you to be holding down back. See my inputs? I'm holding back, hitting K, and I'm holding down back, and I'm hitting SD. And that's going to give you options that we're going to talk about in a second, okay? And the second thing is I want you to hit confirm this. So I want you to pay attention to the dummy. First, don't worry about the dummy at first. Just get used to doing the string, right? And get used to charging while you're doing it. And then once you get comfortable with the string, I want you to hit confirm it so that when the dummy gets hit, you cancel the sweep into hammerfall break like this. Not like that. He didn't get hit. He didn't get hit. He didn't get hit. Like that. See that? So you're going to do a sweep into hammerfall and immediately do a break. See this? It's immediate. You don't even see the hammerfall start. You just see the break animation. I did it too fast. If you do it too fast, you're doing the break before the hammerfall even starts and you won't get it. See this? The reason I'm pointing this out is because you were defaulting to this kind of thing, and this is not good on block. So the idea is once you get more comfortable with this, you'll be able to mix up your block string, and because you're always charging, you will always have hammerfall available, and you'll be able to put the break in different places and start to formulate, you know, some mix-up in your pressure. So, you know, if you see them blocking, so, you know, when you see them get hit, you want to just go into sweep. But when you see them blocking, you know, you don't do the sweep. You can go into hammerfall, or excuse me, you can go into hammerfall break and then do something else. Right? So this will get you more comfortable with, you know, pressuring and hit confirming and that kind of thing. So, because again, you know, when I saw you do something like this in pressure, it's very kind of dangerous because 2H is not good on block. This is a move you really only want to be doing on hit. So, you know, it's really important that you hit confirm, and when they're blocking, you kind of stay within your slashes, your sweep, and you know, sometimes you can do like 5H. You know, there's like some other stuff you can do, but in general, you want to stick with, you know, your kick buttons and your slashes and your sweep. So, but yeah, other than that, you know, good stuff. You know, Johnny specific, it's just going to take a little bit of experience against him. You know, he's a frame trapping kind of character, and we talked about that a little bit during the match, how you kind of got caught by the frame trap where he set you up with the gaps, and then he did the coin, and you try to hit a button. So the idea is when he does a miscancel, which, so just for the people who don't know, Johnny has this move called Mistfinder, and he can hold it, and then when you release the button, the slash comes out. But while you're holding it, if you hit H, it cancels out of the move. So he can cancel into the special and then cancel out of the special, and it basically reduces his recovery. So he creates gaps in his pressure this way, and when he's doing that, depending on what he does, you know, there's the thing is, it makes him very fluid. So, you know, there's no single right answer to react to, you know, what he's doing to react properly. You just kind of have to, you know, try to find the gaps and then either jump out, or if the gap is big enough, counterattack. But he can always kind of create a fake gap by doing a coin instead of a miscancel. So that's kind of the general idea of what Johnny's pressure is like. So the other thing, if you can anticipate when the coin is coming, oh, that's not what I wanted. If you can anticipate when the coin is coming, you can flick it. So coin is pretty fast, so you probably have to be really ready for this, or even just guess. But flick in general, you know, we didn't really get to see, you know, too much in that one game. I don't know if you already used flick, but very important move against any kind of projectile character. So definitely practice that as well. But yeah, good stuff overall. 2H is also cancelable with Hammerfall Break. Yeah, but Twisted Balls, 2H, if they're faultlessing, it's going to whiff a lot of the time. It's just not the kind of move that you really want to be doing on block. You know what I mean? Just in general. It's limited in what you can do from it, and it's just not a good hitbox for when they're blocking. Let me put them on all faultless. So like something like this, like, will this even work? Yeah, that barely works because of the... See, but if I'm just even a little bit away, it's not going to work. You have to be like point blank. And I would assume that this does not work. Yeah, it's like not even going to be close. So yeah, it's just not a great button on block. Yeah. But yeah, overall good stuff, Tigris. I think if you just get used to using Hammerfall, it'll open up a lot of you know, ideas for you, both in movement. Another really good thing to practice, actually, this you can just practice by itself. Doing slide head, and I don't even know. I would have to practice this. I'm not even sure if I could do it properly, but doing slide head into Hammerfall break to advance. But at the very least, do one and then jump. Super jump, sorry. Right? Something like this. So that when you hit a slide head, this is kind of the preferred way to close the distance. And see, like, I'm missing the break, because you want to let it go as far as possible, but if you let it go too far, you get the Hammerfall. So, you know, learning the timing of how far you can go and still get the break, it just takes practice. I'm not a Potemkin player, so, you know, I'm not good at the timing, but this is something you can practice very, very, you know, very effectively in training mode, and it will translate directly into your matches. So, you should be able to get 2 Hammerfall breaks back to back, but that's probably a little more advanced. You probably have to do like max on the first one. See if I can do it once. Yeah. So it's a little tricky. There's some tricks here to do this, I think, but yeah. So this is another way to close in, but this is a little more advanced. For now, I would just do one break and then super jump, and you can come back and revisit this later. But once you can do two, then you can start doing like normal jumps and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, that's another really important implementation for Hammerfall and Hammerfall break. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you again for the submission. And even though it is really late, I'm gonna do one more because it's the last one for the group. And it's Boomano, who we just saw playing Johnny. So we'll just segue right into that. And then I'm probably gonna call it a night here. All right. All right, so not these. These. Okay. So let's do a marker. Boomano Johnny. All right. So Boomano says, I know I keep using the same block string. It's a habit I'm trying to break, so we'll keep an eye on that. I have trouble approaching and opening up characters that can play from near full screen. Axel and Venom. Okay, and this I think is a pretty common problem that Johnny has because of he has a dash and not a run, and he's not the best in the air. So it can actually be difficult to approach on the ground because it's such a commitment to dash. So we'll talk about some of that stuff. So Nup is pretty good. Let's see how it goes. So you got your, what was that, jump K? Yeah, you got your jump K low profiled. I would imagine that jump H will hit him. Jump H hits really, really low. So against Axel, you might need to use jump H a little bit more than you would normally to avoid that situation. That's a really, really common Axel thing. Nice backdash. Although I say that, but that backdash maybe could have gone wrong if Nup had done 6H instead of 2D, but it worked. So I like the delay. I don't know. Was that a missed? It looked good. I don't know if that was intentional. Oh, it was. Okay. Or maybe you tried to dash. No, yeah. Okay, it looks intentional. I like that. I like the delay. Trying to just catch a mash. Okay. Nice. Big opportunity. I didn't get the Pinkasi, but that's okay. Yeah. I mean, that already just tells me a lot. I mean, even having not read, you know, what you had said, you know, trying to just YOLO force break here shows me that you feel weak in that, from that range, you know, that you're resorting to taking big risks like that. Yeah. Were you trying to backdash again? Wait. No, you just stood up. Just anticipating the overhead, I guess? Nice jump H. Small drop. Still got some decent damage. Okay, let's go. Nice. Really nice. Oh, I mean, one of the things we're going to wind up talking about is Johnny's air stuff. Divine Blade. I always get the moves confused. Killer Joker, right? Killer Joker is the FRC move. In these kind of spots, so like here, you get this hit, right? And then you know the coin's going to OTG him, and there's like a little bit of a scramble. The neutral jump makes a lot of sense because you don't want to get thrown. But anytime there's a scramble and you just want to take control of the scramble, Divine Blade FRC will like help you lock them down and help you get back down to the ground offensively. You know what I mean? So like as soon as I saw this is such a common situation. I just assumed you were going to do Divine Blade. It was like, it seemed so, you know, intentional. Once you jumped, I was like, oh, here comes the Divine Blade to lock him down. Because what is he going to do? You know, you can't really, it's fast enough that he can't really stop it. So he just has to respect it. He could maybe like try to dash underneath you before it comes out, but, you know, going to be tough. So, is that the Zwei YRC type of thing? Yeah, so in Exerd, they basically combined Divine Blade and Insanga into one move. So in this game, it's like two different moves. He's got the Fire, which is Divine Blade, and then he's got Insanga, which is the Fire Slash that, you know, he tries to... That's the move where you try to intentionally get one hit, and then it knocks down if you only get the first hit. It's like untechable. So yeah, it's in this game, it's two separate moves. Yeah, they gave it Killer Joker Transport. Yeah, they just like combined everything into one. Ooh, you're folding on defense here. Hold on, I want to go back to the beginning of the string and look at it again. Ooh, that is so unfortunate. So what are you trying to do here? Ah, you try to super. Okay. That's understandable. That's understandable. Not a bad idea either. Although, wait, is it a bad idea? Hold on, I don't even know if there's a gap here. Hold on a second. Oh. Oh, I took control player too. I was like, what? Oh, there is a gap. There is a gap. Yeah, you just mistimed it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, good idea. Just didn't work. You didn't time it right. Seems pretty tight, but it is possible. Oh. And then what happened here? Same thing. You try to super again. Mistimed it again. You try to super again. You did. You mistimed it. Oh man, this is brutal. You tried it again, got hit again. That's gotta be frustrating at this point. Wow, you were about to try it again, but you instant blocked because you got crossed up. And now you're out of life, and chip is a major problem. Ooh. So, one thing, maybe you already do this, but again, these are just things that I think about. You know, sometimes things just like look wrong to me. So whether you do this already or not, and we just didn't see it here, I just want to make sure that you know about it. It's kind of irrelevant, you know, and other people can learn from this as well. So what I was expecting here is you managed to get momentum here. As soon as you got this ground block string, if I was up here, I'm looking for the overhead all day. TK and Senga to close the round out. Because you have 50% meter, that shit does way more than enough damage. You know, you just need a hit here. Just the TK and Senga alone is going to be enough to kill. So for example, I have to remember how to do in Senga, but I think it's like, let me just see. It's half circle forward. I was doing half circle back. Okay. So, wait, is 5K? Yeah. See this? This is, as soon as he blocked on the ground, this is what I was expecting. Oh, and I think he was expecting it too. But the point is, you RC this, and then you can air dash. or just do it again. Wait, does it jump install? Does it auto jump install actually? I need to do it later so the dummy blocks. Yeah, it auto jump installs. So, you know, this is just, this is like classic Johnny round closer, right? TK and Senga, RC. You can do multiple overheads again. Land, do another TK and Senga. Because you just need the one hit. You just need the one hit. So just something to keep in mind. It's one of those things where it's such a simple thing, but the situations where it comes up, it doesn't happen that often. So it's almost one of those things where to work it into your game, sometimes you have to force it in places where you really shouldn't be doing it. But the thing is, TK and Senga RC is just good anytime. It just does a shitload of damage. So, so yeah. You had the right idea here to spend meter, but I would have spent it on Senga RC. I wish that menu would not come up. All right, nice start to get the coin. Okay. Yeah. So you're trying to move forward, but it's tough. Rough. I mean, part of it is you're kind of killing yourself. You're taking some unnecessary damage trying to reversal out and fidget in spots where you need to just respect, you know? Obviously, part of the damage that you're taking is you trying to get in, and that's understandable, but this other, like this, I mean, this is just, it's just unnecessary damage. It's just risky. What'd you try to do? What is that? That's not super. I don't know his inputs. Is that, wait, that looks like TK and Senga. Try to TK and Senga? But yeah, I think you're just playing a little too antsy. And so you're just taking a lot of unnecessary damage on block. But we'll talk about, you know, different approaches after this in training mode. Nice coin. Okay. Mr. Finer. Oh, maybe that thing was you were trying to do reversal coin to get a coin trade. I just realized. And you got half circle because you were holding back. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So like I said, I had a feeling you did know about that. I mean, it's a pretty, you know, basic Johnny thing, but, you know, I always have to be sure. I never know what people know and what they don't know, so I'd rather tell you and you not need to know than not say anything. And again, it's good for other, you know, people watching that just don't know about Johnny or other Johnny players that are maybe newer than you. I like that burst. You don't want to wait too long. Yeah, see, just not respecting. What'd you try to do? Try to 2K. Now you're in trouble. Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about approaches. Now, again, I'm not a Johnny player, but so I don't know if I'm going to be able to execute some of this stuff. But we'll talk about the ideas, and I'll try to execute it just to kind of show what I'm talking about. But you know, Johnny's he's weird because he would rather be on the ground, but he has kind of interesting air options that, even though he's not that great in the air, he kind of is in some cases. So, you know, jump S, first of all, is just a really good space control button. Really good air-to-air. It goes really far. I don't know, you know, a lot of people I don't think realize just how far this thing goes. But it's really important, the specials, you know, so sometimes you were trying to IAD and that was working okay, and you want to represent that as an option sometimes. Let me turn this off. But getting comfortable, Marcel asks if this would be useful. Yeah, but it's a risk. Let me check. It's not like fully invuln. I think it's only like partially invuln or whatever. But you know, it's just not good on block. You're taking a risk. There are safer ways to approach. I think it's something, you know, you can represent and you can do sometimes, but Jackhound. Yeah, I mean it's barely invuln. It has 3 invuln frames or whatever. So, you know, this is not yeah, this is not, you know, it's not a gap closer. So, yeah, like here, let me just do this. So, oh, well. It's working pretty good against this. I don't even know how that's possible, actually. I'm surprised it's going through that. Why is that? Hold on. Did I read the invuln wrong? Because that seems like a way more invuln than what it says. It's possible the frame data is wrong also. I don't understand why that is working. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's working, honestly. Maybe the frame data is wrong and it has more invuln. Yeah, maybe far slash is not a good button. I'll just switch it to Axel, I guess. We'll look at Axel. Axel obviously has way more active frames. So let's just do this to start, because this is like super active. Yeah, I don't know what the interaction was with Kai's far slash, but this it's going through that too. I don't know. I feel like maybe the frame data is wrong. It's like once it starts to go, I mean, maybe those 3 frames are just, you know, the whole time he's traveling. I don't know. Yeah. It seems more reasonable than I expected, honestly. Doesn't seem that bad. But anyway, the stuff I wanted to talk about was, you know, using Killer Joker. Yeah, see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually do this. Okay, so see this? I just triple jumped. Killer Joker resets your air option. And again, I'm thinking Boomano probably knows this, but you know, for other people that are watching. So, you know, you can do stuff like IAD and then Killer Joker FRC, if I can do it, and then jump. So stuff like that, you know, like super jump, air dash, Killer Joker, and then double jump, you can get like really high over someone. And yeah, it costs meter, but, you know, it gives Johnny really unique movement options, and it really diversifies the angles that you're approaching. So, you know, just something to think about. I feel like, you know, really high-level Johnnies, they almost learn to use this like a triple jump. They think of it as a movement tool. You know, it's a combo tool, but in neutral, it's also a movement tool. So, yeah, it's, you know, something to think about. Because if you can get over them, like Axel is good at hitting you at an angle, right? But if you can get over his head, you can come down with a button. You can do Divine Blade, and the thing is, if you you know, set the right expectation with Divine Blade, he's going to respect you on the way down once you start getting him to respect Divine Blade. So, you know, if you can get over his head, you know, and start doing this, and then come down with jump H or jump K or whatever, you know, that's typically what you see from Johnny's in these kind of matchups, I feel. You know, using you know, do you get your air dash back, actually? I think you do, right? I think you just get all your air options back. Because if you get a jump, you should be able to air dash, too. I don't know why I can't hit this FRC. Yeah, you get your air dash back, too. So, you know, there's just lots of tricky stuff you can do with this. But yeah. I mean, the FRC is just a timing thing, right? You know, it's just something you can, once you know the timing, you can do it consistently. I'm guessing the FRC window is 2 frames for this, but yeah. But yeah, Divine Blade FRC is just really good once you get over them. Again, it just like forces you in, and you can almost like mix them up on the way down by either hitting a button or doing land low or, you know, whatever. So, but yeah, other than that good stuff, you know, it's tough. Also, you can do this to move forward. I don't know how much better it really is than just doing a normal dash, but maybe it's like slightly more low profile. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, like I talked about before the matches, you know, Johnny is limited with movement. That's his weakness. You know, the dash, it's good and it's bad. But when it comes to movement and neutral like this, it's bad because it really limits where he can go. You can't just inch your way in, you know. So yeah, I mean 6K is good for chasing people down. Yeah, you can special cancel and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to think of any other approach options that, you know, we didn't talk about. Yeah. Other than that, good stuff, though. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like similar to Potemkin, just walking forward is definitely legit also. Johnny has good tension pulls. All the characters that have dashes instead of runs, or I should say actually, a better way to phrase that is any character that doesn't have a run. So including Potemkin, including Justice, you know, Slayer, Johnny, all these characters, they have slightly higher tension pulse by like default, so they gain meter a little bit faster. So, you know, just walking is also legit. I mean, he's going to be pushing you away, but it's a good way to build meter. So, you know, that's also something that you want to have in your toolbox as well. The most important thing, it's not necessarily that walking is going to get you in. The most important thing is that you diversify as much as possible so that the zoning character has to try to cover as many different options as possible and as many different spaces as possible. So if you're limiting yourself to only dashing and only air dashing, well, that's easy. The Axel is just going to do this and you're dead, right? Because what are you doing, you know? So, you know, by using, and that's why I'm saying, even though this stuff, it, you know, costs meter and it's not like foolproof and you can still get hit and all this stuff, the important thing is just that you have more movement options and you try to be in different places that, in this case, the Axel player has to try to cover in different ways. And by using those other tools, your basic tools like dashing and IEDing and walking get stronger just because they're trying to cover more things. And that's why just walking, even though it's not really like anything special, it's just something else that they have to account for, because what they're going to want to do, if you just keep walking and blocking, they're going to want to push more buttons to push you out. And then that opens them up to, you know, you super jumping, or, you know, you super jump IDing, or, you know, whatever's going to get around whatever they're doing to push you out. So it's just like a general strategy kind of thing where and I talk about this all the time in different contexts, you know, block strings and mix-ups and things like this. Diversity is super important, and it's important to recognize that sometimes the bad options, as long as they're not super bad where it's, you know, really risky and shit reward and it's just, you know, a bad option on paper, as long as it's a reasonable option, even if it's not your best option, doing it a little bit is good because it makes your best options better because you're diversifying. So it makes your best options harder to look for. Does that make sense? So, you know, to be able to open up the opportunity to dash and air dash, or I should say not air dash, IAD specifically, you need to do some of this other stuff just to mix it up. Throw the J? Yeah, I mean, that's probably like a, you know, if you're in a situation where, you know, you need to, you know, you're really behind, you just need something big to get some momentum, but yeah, I wouldn't do it all the time. But yeah, so yeah, that's movement. So thank you again for the submission. Hopefully that will help. You know, if I was more of a Johnny player, I would give you more specifics, but I think the general ideas are there. So, you know, something to think about and see, you know, just try to experiment with it and see what you like and what you don't like and see if it helps you.